Let me break this down. How did I make $45,000 in a day? Well, you need to understand when it comes to business, this simple concept, right? The niche that you are in. This is very, very, very important. Let me ask you this question right now. If I was to go out there, yeah, and I was to sell mindset to college students, for example, would I be able to charge high ticket, 25K for my services? Yes or no? No. Why? Because number one, they probably can't afford it. And number two, the value exchange is not there. So if I help a university student or a college student to help him with his mindset, yeah, what's that really worth to him? Not a lot of money, right? Because he's not making a lot of money. But if I come to an entrepreneur and he's already making $50,000 or $100,000 a month, he's like, John, I know my mindset is blocking me from getting to the next level. He's making 55 G's a month, yeah? And I tell him, look, bro, I'm gonna get you to X goal. It's gonna cost you 25 grand. Boom. Is that worth it to him? Yes, 100%. So my niche and who I speak to is entrepreneurs and business owners who have already started to make money. They're already successful. They're already winning. They're already doing 10, 50, 100K per month, but their block is mindset. So I have been able to niche myself down very, very nicely to the point where people like Iman Gadzhi, Charlie Morgan, and other 6, 7, and 8-figure entrepreneurs have hired me to teach my frameworks. So this is the first thing, right? If you do not have a niche dialed in and a marketplace you're going after, like you're going to by default not be able to make as much money as you could if you haven't dialed this in. So within this, right, it's going to be 3 things. Who are you going after? Who? What do you help them achieve? And how do you help them achieve it? This is the basics, guys. Who, what, how? Who do I help? Entrepreneurs. We're just gonna put entrep. What do I help them with? Make more money. Yeah, I'm help them simply make more money. How do I help them? With mindset. Now, there's other things that come into this, of course, like we could dive into the ICP, like the ideal customer profile, like the specific avatar of this person. You guys see that? Yeah, cool. Let me move this a little bit. Right? I can go deeper into the entrepreneur I'm speaking to, right? And be more specific, which I am. I can be even more specific here. What do I exactly help them with? I help them remove limiting beliefs. I help them change their state and raise their energy. And I help them build better habits, right? I have a mechanism, I have a process in which I help my clients with, which is called the mind system, right? These are all things, again, in business you should understand if you want to actually grow your business. Like none of these other guys seem to teach you. They're just like, yeah, here's how I got to here. And then just take my tactics. Tactics are bullshit. It's like 10% of the game. You know what to fucking do. This is how I make more money than these nerds, and I'm about to overtake all of them. Anyway, point is, how, right? I do it with mindset. So again, you have variables that come into here. We have coaching, we have WhatsApp access, all of these things, right? But you need to get this dialed in. Who do you help? What do you help them get? And how do you do it? Within here as well, like the how, very important actually, is you need to have a good offer. Right? So for example, you could have money back guarantee or fuck money back guarantees. Money guarantee in the sense of if you work with me for X amount of time and you don't make your investment back, we work for free until you get the result, right? So there's all of these things you can have thrown into this equation, yeah, to actually go ahead and make more money. So who do you work with? What do you help them achieve and how do you get there? Again, let's take this example, right? Let's say I work with entrepreneurs, but my messaging is targeting beginner entrepreneurs. Like when I first started off here, I was speaking to beginner entrepreneurs. And that's how I started my journey. Obviously, we all start as beginners, but my journey went like this here. I was trying to make money online for like 3 years. I couldn't succeed. Finally, I figured out the power of the mind. Then I had success, and then I started coaching other people on how to do that. But my messaging would speak to beginner entrepreneurs, so that's who I would attract. So with who you're speaking to, you want to get very clear on this, right? Because again, if I speak to an entrepreneur who's making a few $1,000s a month versus an entrepreneur who's already established, who already has a business, who already has a team, like my guy Josh, who was at 55K and got to 280K a month, right? It's going to be a lot easier, right, for me to, number one, help these guys at the higher level. But when I'm speaking to them, it's just a decision in who I speak to. I will add on to this, though. You do have to work your way up to get to this level. I couldn't just go out there now and start speaking to a billionaire with, oh yeah, I'm going to help you grow your business. I'm not at that level yet. So there are levels to this, but you get my point. So who are you speaking to? What do you help them achieve? This is very important as well. Remember, yeah, people are not buying your process. Like if I was like this, yeah, and this is the mistake I used to make, like I will help you master your mindset. Entrepreneurs do not care about mastering their mindset. They care about making more money. And they care about removing their blocks. They care about the pain. So when I speak to an entrepreneur, yeah, when I'm speaking to them, what do I help them do? I help them make more money, but how is very important. Let me ask you, if you're an entrepreneur, you're already making money, you're already making $10, $50, $100,000 a month in your business. You know exactly what you need to do to get to the next level. You have the tactics, you have the strategies, you have the frameworks, you've invested in coaches, you've been to masterminds, you know what you need to do to get to the next level, but you don't seem to do it consistently. And even if you do it consistently, you seem to pull yourself back. You seem to sabotage, you seem to slow down. You seem to not take the action you know you should be taking. Well, why is this? Well, let me ask you this, right? You get my point. So you see how by understanding the audience I'm speaking to, I can understand where they're at, their blocks, everything in between, and I can help them solve these problems. Because again, every entrepreneur, right? They might have a problem, it could be with their marketing. If I was to do the same thing, I could talk about that. If I was selling, let's say for example, yeah, I was to go out there and I'm selling to entrepreneurs. Like, who am I helping? Entrepreneurs. What do I help them with? Make more money, achieve a desired outcome, right? Again, you be more specific with this stuff. How we help them, it could be YouTube, right? And then I could just be like this. Are you an entrepreneur who's already making 10, 50, 100K a month selling high ticket services, but you're constantly chasing clients? One day you're sending Instagram DMs, the next day you're trying to run paid ads, you're all over the place. What if I could tell you there was a simple, easy method which attracts clients to you and makes them chase you instead of you chasing them? Well, let me tell you about the YouTube method. Do you see what I'm saying to you? It's just, what are you selling and how do they understand that it solves their problems? It's very simple, guys. People seem to complicate all this stuff. I do not understand it. This is why I have to come into this space, right? Because like genuinely, people are confused out here. People make it seem so fucking complicated, and it's not. It's who do you speak to? What do you help them with? How do you help them? Okay, now let's get into the next step. This is just the business advice. Wait till we get to the mindset side of things. All right, so you can see now, just by that, who do I speak to? Entrepreneurs. How do I help them? Well, what do I help them with? Make more money. How do I help them? With their mindset. So what happens is, over time, as they consume my content, they start to realize, okay, there's going to be different stages in the buyer's journey as well. They're going to be like this, right? Problem, unaware. This is again where so many marketers, so many business owners leave money on the table. Why? Because only 3% of a marketplace, are ready to buy at any given time. 3%. So all of you guys that just go out there and do cold messaging to get clients, you are losing so much money, it is ridiculous. Because for every 100 people you message, only 3 of them are ready to buy anyway, and they ain't gonna trust you, like you, or know you. You have to think about this, If you was to go and see, let's say you're walking down the road and you see a beautiful lady, right? You go up to her, you go, hey, do you wanna get married? You get my point, right? This is what you guys are doing with your business. So people are going to be problem unaware, then they're going to become problem aware, and then they're going to become solution aware, and then they become product aware. Do you understand this, guys? So problem unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware. All right, so let's break this down. Someone comes into my ecosystem, right? They find my YouTube channel. They might be either looking for a solution to their problem, or they might just be randomly on YouTube and they watch one of these videos, right? So they come onto the YouTube channel and they're like, oh, John's made a video, how I made 45 grand in a day. So an entrepreneur, you probably watching this right now, you watch this video and then you're like, oh, I get it. John is teaching me the tactics and the strategies. We're gonna get onto mindset. This is gonna be a very good video. I already know, it already is, it's gonna get better. But they might be like, how did he make 45 grand in a day? Oh, it's mindset. Now, they was problem unaware, now they are problem aware. So now they're like, I resonate with that. That makes complete sense to me. So I've been trying to grow my business the wrong way because I thought that it was just tactics and strategies. And although I've applied all the tactics and strategies and I know what to do and I've got to the 10, 50, 100K month, I'm now aware that it's my mindset. Okay? Now they're gonna start watching my content and be like, oh, there is a solution. Mr. Jonathan Gabb, myentrepreneur.com, right? There's a solution. Then they become aware there's a product and they will either attend a free training, book in a call, message us, whatever it might be. That is how business works, guys. That you need to understand these basic principles in business. Like, it's so simple, yeah? What are we doing here? We're solving problems. So I'm gonna put out so much content for free, yeah? And one of my favorite Bible verses is it's more blessed to give than it is to receive, and you will reap what you sow. Yeah, if you are giving so much value to the marketplace, you just give. People are gonna be like, you know what, yeah? I have a problem, I'm aware of the problem, I'm aware there's a solution, I'm gonna invest into this person because I know them, I like them, and I trust them, and that's who people do business with. So you can see, we've got a very clear marketplace, very clear niche. Who do we speak to? What do we help them with? How do we exactly help them? Again, there can be deeper things we dive into there. And then we understand this. Problem unaware, problem aware, solution, product, okay? Now, let me break this part down, yeah? Here's the other three things you need to understand, all right? When it comes to actually building the business, there is really, and this is why I say it's simple, bro. All these guys that try and tell you there's some complex funnels, and it's just noise, bro. Like, it's not true, right? When it comes to building the business, there's three things. You need to find a way to market your business. All right, you need to find a way to get eyeballs on yourself. You need to be seen. Now, here's another big lesson, right? People ask me, John, how do you have 45K days in your business with so little followers? Like 600 YouTube subscribers, 5,700 on Instagram. And even if you look at my Instagram, guys, like, I don't have Instagram on this phone, right? I don't go on this phone in the morning, but to have, like, if you look at my funnel, yeah, like really and truly, guys, it doesn't make sense. Like, my Instagram bio is just a cross. That's it. I don't really promote on Instagram. I haven't posted content up until recently for the past 3 months, right? And people are like, how? How are you doing this, John? Well, you have to understand, it's not about like speaking to millions of people and hundreds of people. You just need to speak to a very small type of entrepreneurs or people, whoever you're speaking to. You just need to understand your market. You need to understand their needs. All right, what do they need? What do they want? What are their pain points? Right? This is how I'm able to do this, guys, because I speak to a very specific niche. And even that, within this niche, right, I'm probably one of the only people, if you actually look at it, right, who speaks specifically to entrepreneurs to help them master their mindset. Yes, there are other people in this space that do it, but the way we do it is very unique and different. So, who is the market? Entrepreneurs. This is who we speak to, right? So we went over that before, right? But you need to understand this. Within your content, right? I'll give you more source. Like, if you look at my channel, right? I don't say how to get rich quick and all of these things. I'm like, how to grow your business. So only business owners are gonna watch this channel. I'm not trying to go viral. I just want a few hundred views. That brings me enough clientele, guys, you know? It's that simple. So you need to find a way to market, all right? Now, as you start to expand, which is what we're doing right now, then you can add additional things onto this, right? So for example, you want to pick one platform to go all in on. We use YouTube, right? But then you can add other things in there like paid ads, email marketing, right? Lead magnets, and things like that. Yeah? Then you can begin to market on the back end. This traffic here is not owned. It's just anyone can come and watch a YouTube video, whatever it is. This becomes owned traffic, right? So you have control over messaging these people, not ads, but emails and lead magnets. Once you get them into your ecosystem, maybe you get them onto WhatsApp, right? Into a WhatsApp group, whatever it might be. So you need to think about marketing is very simple, providing value. That's how I view marketing. It's providing value. One of the biggest marketers I learned from was a man called Chet Holmes, right? He's got a great book called, the sales, I can't remember the name of the book, but the book's Sales Machine or something like that. But either way, it might be spin selling. I can't remember, but Chet Holmes, anyway, one of the biggest lessons I learned from him was, it's called educational marketing. Okay, so they had this case study basically where there was this real estate company, right? And they were trying to sell homes and they could not sell them. They just could not sell to the level they wanted to. So what they started to do is they started to educate that marketplace on why these homes are good or whatever it was, right? Just look it up, you'll find it. But the point is, they started to educate the marketplace, and from educating them, they was able to make more sales, right? So with my marketing, guys, with my content, my philosophy, my principle has always been give. Give. And if you look at this channel, you go and consume the content and you apply it, I'm telling you now, it'll be the most valuable content you watch in how to grow your business, because mindset is 80% of it, it's the foundation, right? So you need to know how to market, number one. Number two is you need to have a sales process. Now, within this as well, yeah, you have to realize, guys, the way I've been growing my business over the past few years, I've been doing it in a way, honestly, just like hustling. I didn't want to scale it. I was like, I don't want to scale. I'm happy with how it is now, making a lot of money, just having people come to me, want to work with me, right? So the way I was doing sales, believe it or not, right? And this made me multiple seven figures, was just through Instagram DMs and WhatsApp. One of the main ways was through WhatsApp. And what would happen is people would watch my content on YouTube, whatever it is. And I also run another business called brotherhood.co, right? That's a community for men, but we made that free because we're serving God there and we don't want to charge for that. But that's another story. So you put out content, okay, and then people would message me. That was literally my funnel. So the sales process I had, people would message me and I'll be like, yeah, this is the price. Literally like that. That would be it. This is the price. You want it or not? That was it. Now we have, because we're scaling, right? Because we're going to be growing this business massively, we have a very different process. So our sales process now is going to be like this: a free training, okay, which will educate them, teach them, give them value on what exactly we do. And then we have on the back end of that, I have a sales team. So people messaging the potential customers that come through, people that take strategy calls and everything in between. So now our sales process is very, very different. But sales, right, again, it's very simple, right? You are just helping the buyer understand why your thing is the best thing. You can do sales calls, you can do webinars, you can do directly through the DM, you could do a landing page. It really doesn't matter. It's just converting somebody to give you their money, all right? But I would say this is the most important step, right? The service, okay? Or the product. We're just gonna talk about services because that's what I do. I sell services, right? So look at it like this. What you need to understand, the service, right? This is where most people mess up. Once they make the sale, you need to understand this big lesson, yeah? The goal in business is not to get a customer to make a sale, it's to get a sale to get a customer, right? So what do I mean by that? Well, once you bring somebody into your business, you guys see that, yeah? Once you bring someone into your business, yeah? Let's say they come through and they buy a lower ticket product here, they buy that. If you just basically say, all right, we've got the money now, let's not provide value to this person, they won't buy from you again. You know, so it's like you put all of this effort in to get one sale. You want to be thinking, okay, think of it like this, yeah? At each stage in the buyer's journey or the customer's journey, they have a problem. They watch a YouTube video, you solve the problem, they buy something from you. Then this should naturally solve their problem, but another problem will be created which you give a solution to. So then you are ascending them up and creating more lifetime value from that individual customer. That is why it's very important that you provide a good service. So think about this, when my clients work with me, you'll see the testimonials, right? You'll see what they say about me. I provide an amazing service, right? Why? Because I want to over deliver to actually help people, right? Number one, always being in service. Number two, I understand that they will then potentially buy more stuff from me. And then number three, they're going to refer people to me. So if I neglect this part, it's just stupid, right? They all interlink together. And what you'll find is that the service feeds into the sales feeds into the marketing, vice versa, right? It all interlinks, because if you have conviction in your product, you're going to sell the product better. If you're selling the product better and you see people joining, you're going to put that into your marketing, more people are joining, better testimonials. You get my point. So they all feed into one another. I would say, arguably, the service is the most important part. It's not about just making money. It's about acquiring customers and increasing the value that you give to them. Key word here, value. Actually helping people, right? So marketing, getting your product seen, educating them, especially if you are selling a service, it's more important that you educate your customers, right? Educate, and I'm gonna say as well, in this day and age, the most easiest way you do this is just provide value, bro. Just give. Like, you can go and speak to so many people that tell you, John is always giving. I have given so much time and energy and just love to people. That is another way how I'm able to grow my business, yeah? Marketing, sales, we've gone over that, and then you have a good service. And then the goal for the service is to provide value so they ascend up. I'll give you some context on this, right? When I was running Brotherhood and we had different price products in there, when I was running that, yeah, we sold people into it. It was $99 a month, or you pay 1.2K for the year, all right? Now, what happened was, here's one example of many I can give you. We hosted a mastermind in Mexico, right? And we had 15 people come out there, and it was high ticket prices, right? The way I sold this, I would jump on the coaching calls inside of the program and I'd be like, yeah, we're doing a mastermind, do you want to come? This is the price. 15 people came out, right? I know for a fact, yeah, if they had not already purchased something from me and I had not provided value to them, they would not have came here. But it's easier to sell to a customer than it is to a stranger. So your goal, right, as you make this, as you're putting content out to the marketplace, don't just think about making a sale. Think about acquiring a customer that you can help so they want to give you more money in the long term. Why? Because you're giving them more value. So they have a problem in the marketplace, you put out free content, you solve that problem. They then buy from you, okay? They give you their money because they want this problem solved. You solve this problem, then you ascend them up to the next problem that they have, right? Do you see this, guys? So even if I give you some context on this current business, the channel you're watching now, My Entrepreneur, it's like this, right? We're gonna solve problems at 3 levels for the entrepreneurs. And we have one main customer we speak to, but we also have 2 others that can like come through as well. But the point is, if you're a beginner entrepreneur, you're gonna watch the channel, right? And we're gonna help you make money. Then the next level is you're gonna be like, well, I wanna grow to, you know, let's say $10,000 a month. We have a product for that. Then we have another product. And then we have another product. Yeah? So as you can see, at each level, we solve a new problem, and then we have a new solution to your next problem. And we help you, you help us. That is it. So really, this is how I am able to have days in my business where I make 45 grand in a day with little to no followers. And now we're about to scale this up. So you can imagine what we're going to get it to, because I understand these basic foundations of business. Now let's get into the mindset of all this, right? The biggest mistake I see entrepreneurs making, yeah, is simply this: they do not think. All right? They do not think. What they do is they go out into the marketplace and they're just like, let me just grow my business. Let me just go out there and do outreach and do this and do this and do this and do, and they're just doing, right? They're just doing so much. But it's like, brother, imagine you was gonna build a building, yeah? And you didn't have a blueprint for it. Imagine you was gonna get in your car and drive somewhere without an end destination in mind. Where are you gonna end up? Think about it. Where are you gonna end up? You're gonna get lost. You're not gonna be able to build the building. So the first step you need to building a business that you enjoy, a life that you enjoy, because again, I know so many entrepreneurs. There was this one entrepreneur I spoke to once, making $50,000 a month, right? 50K a month. Bought his dream car. Successful, right? No. Bro was working 12-hour days, couldn't drive his car, right? Because he didn't have the time to drive it. Wanted to build a business to make money so he could get a girl, but in the pursuit of growing a business, he got overweight, couldn't even go and speak to girls. He lost, but here's why. He did not have a clear vision of what he wanted. It's one of the first frameworks I teach people is, what do you want? What do you want? So for myself, right, what I was very clear on is I want a simple, streamlined, simple, streamlined, systemized, that's the word I'm looking for. Systemized business with high ticket clients that I enjoy, that doesn't require any more than 2 to 4 hours of work a day. So as you can see with a vision, and there's more that goes into that, but because I'm clear on this, guys, I can then step towards it. Mindset lesson number 1. If you can't see it in your mind, you're not going to be able to create it in your reality. It's very, very simple. Think about it. If you can't see it in your mind, you can't create that in your reality. So when I first started in business, yeah, I was running a marketing agency, okay? And my vision back then, here's the big thing as well. You all have a vision. Like, you all have a vision for something you want. My vision was to make money online and travel the world. And guess what happened? I was able to achieve that goal. But I was working 12-hour days. I moved to Amsterdam, couldn't really enjoy living in Amsterdam. I was working with terrible clients. I didn't enjoy it. Right? But it all was what I manifested, what I created in my mind first, because I didn't take a step back to think about, what do I truly want? Understanding that our thoughts are energy. Yeah? Thoughts are energy. So if you understand that your thoughts create your reality and you're not being clear on the thoughts you want to have, which is then going to determine how you feel and determine how you act, what kind of business are you building? Are you just becoming a slave? And this is where it gets even deeper, because of your past beliefs that you have about work. So another thing I see a lot of entrepreneurs do, yeah, they want to build a business to have freedom, but they have these old limiting beliefs that hold them back. Beliefs such as, you need to work hard, you need to grind, right? Not to say you shouldn't work hard, but it's like, if you have these beliefs here, yeah, you're going to build a prison for yourself. And it's like, question your beliefs and question where they came from. So number 1 is, what do you want? This is the first step. You have to have a clear vision. If I ask you right now on a scale of 1 to 10, how clear are you on the vision for your business? Maybe a 5, maybe a 6, maybe a 7. I am a 10. And because I'm a 10 on clarity of my vision, it's easy to move into that. So you need to have the vision dialed in of really what you're trying to build. And adding on to that as well, you need to be clear on what the vision is just outside of the business as well. Because if you just have a vision for the business, right, but you don't know what it's going to allow you to do, then again, you're not going to be as driven. So again, when I was writing down my vision for my business, I was like, I'm traveling the world freely on my own schedule, everything like that. That's what I've been doing for the past 3 years now. So number 1 is what. Number 2, this is the most important one. This is the most important one, right? Who? In other words, identity. Guys, in the description, there'll be a free masterclass. Sign up for it. It's going to change your life. I go into these concepts in more detail. Who - identity, right? This is the biggest one. Most entrepreneurs think about, what do I need to do What do I need to do? That's incorrect. You need to be operating from who do you need to be? Who do you need to be? You can never outwork your identity. Your identity, the person you see, is going to be the strongest force in human nature, right? Is identity. The person we see is the person we will be. From being we do, from doing we have. Right? You get the point. So most entrepreneurs are like, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? What kind of action I need to take? Listen, if you're trying to grow your business, yeah, but you identify and you see yourself as a fucking loser, or you see yourself as a entrepreneur who's figuring it out and you're just, just hustling and whatever it might be, then that's exactly what will play out. But if you start to define, well, who must I be at this next level? Who would this person be? Okay, they're a leader. Okay, they're abundant. Okay, they are worthy of success. All right, they are confident. Yeah, they have certainty. Think about this, yeah? If you're building your business and you're just doing, but you're not being this person here, a leader, abundant, worthy, confident, certainty, that insinuates, yeah, and this is what most entrepreneurs do as well. Here's the big breakthrough for you right now. They go after their goal from a place of doing so they can be, so they can have. So they're like, oh, if I make more money, if I achieve the goal, then I will feel like this guy. But what does that insinuate? On the pursuit of the goal, you're not being the guy. So if you're not being the leader, then what are you doing? If you're not being abundant, you're being scarce. If you don't feel worthy, you feel unworthy. If you're not being confident, then you don't have confidence, you have doubt. And if you're not certain, then you're uncertain. So in the pursuit of your goal and growing your business, your identity, yeah, your mindset, what is your mindset on? This is going to be more powerful than any tactic or strategy or anything else you know. Again, from being we do, from doing we have, and from being we also attract who we are, not what we want. We attract who we are, not what we want, right? So you have to define who you would be. Okay, this is very, 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 very important. Probably the most important thing you can do in your business, in life in general. Who do you need to be? All right, so we've got that clear. And then the last step is this, right? A lot of entrepreneurs, what do? They move towards their goals, right? But they don't know why. Now, I think what it is for most entrepreneurs, the reason they start off is they want to make money, okay? But once you start making money, once you start hitting the 100K months, right? You quickly realize that more money does not equal the thing you actually want. Because you realize money is not real. Yeah? There's only so many nice things you can buy. There's only so many nice meals you can go on. Only so many nice places you can live in, whatever it is. Like right now, I'm living in this penthouse, right? I have my nice watch on. I eat out wherever I want, whenever I want. I'm free. I can do whatever I want. My friends have come to Marbella. I can just fly to Marbella. Like, it gets to the point where money is no longer the driving force. What drives you once you get to this, yeah, is going to be different motivations that take you from, let's say, 0 to 10K, and then from 10K to 50K, and then to 100K, whatever. You're going to have different motivations and driving forces behind these things. So if you do not identify your true driving forces, why, this is why I believe people burn out. It's because, Viktor Frankl said it. A man with a big enough why can overcome almost any how. If your why is not big enough and you're still in the default mode of thinking, which is, I just need more money. Is that still recording? Yeah. I just need more money. I just want to make more money. Then you're going to burn out. It's not to say that you shouldn't want to get more money, but money should be like this. Money should be the byproduct. Your goal should be, in my opinion, impact. Right? That's what you want to get to. So the 0 to 10K entrepreneur, they're focused on themselves, me. Once you get to 10K, then you should be like, well, actually, no, how do I serve more people? And this goes back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? You need to have your basic needs met, then you ascend up and you want to help more people. You get my point. But I think you should focus on impact, serving people, and then as a byproduct of that, you will make money. Again, point in fact, the success I have, without all of these tactics and strategies that these guys talk about, I'm still able to make a lot more than them. And we're going to make a lot more than them now that we're applying these bigger strategies, systems, and everything in between. But again, one of my driving forces for my business is my reason why. Now, when I look at this channel, why, and my entrepreneur, why do I do this? Because I want to help entrepreneurs master their mindset. Why? Because I believe that if an entrepreneur is not growing his business with his mind, he's going to be separate from God. This is something I need to talk about more on my channel. It's something I'm stepping into. I'll be honest with you guys, I was kind of like, do I want to talk about it? But this right here, this even brings me so much energy right now. I'm going to just start talking about this. It feels so right. One of my favorite Bible verses, in fact, this Bible verse transformed my business and my life, truly. Yeah? Seek first the kingdom and his righteousness. Then all these things, can you even see that? Yeah, all these things will be added unto you. Boom. Seek first the kingdom and his righteousness, then all these things will be added unto you. This Bible verse transformed my business, right? When I started to put God first in my business, and this is something I'm stepping into more and more and more, and already I feel my energy shifted. I'm very grateful I get to share this with you guys now. This is what you need to understand. It says seek first. Seek first. What does that mean? Well, when you wake up in the morning, do not go on your phone. When you start your work day, do not immediately check Slack. When you start your day, do not go and check your Stripe account and your bank account, because what are you doing then is you're seeking money, right? Validation, all of these external things that are outside of God, the kingdom. And anything that you idolize outside of you is always going to leave you feeling less, because God is the only source of the thing you truly want, which is what? Love. Okay? God, every entrepreneur, all you truly want is one thing and one thing only. You want to, where's the pen? Here we are. All you want to experience in life. Let me ask you this, yeah? Let me ask you this. Do you grow your business because you want to feel bad? Do you do anything in life because you want to feel bad at the end of it? No. No one ever does anything to feel bad at the end of it. Everyone is doing something to what? Feel good at the end of it. We have two core emotions. We have fear and we have love. Everyone, simply put, is doing something to feel love. Believe it or not, the reason you're growing your business right now, the reason you want to make more money, no, John, I want to retire my parents. No, John, I want to travel the world. No, John, I want to buy my dream car. No, John, I want to provide for my family. Well, why do you want those experiences? Because you want to feel love. It's as simple as that. Even if you want to buy stuff to flex on Instagram, you want to get validation, love. You want to help your family, you want to get love. It's all to do with receiving love. That is it. So imagine this, guys, and we all know this, right? As an entrepreneur, yeah, we all know what happens. You grind, you push, you force, you grow your business, whatever it is, but you always feel empty. You always feel, why, that wasn't worth it. I done all of this, I made the money. Like, we just done a launch, right? We had great success with that. And I remember getting to the end of it and I was like, yep, just like it's normal. Like, we done the launch, we done the free masterclass, then we just go out and eat, go to a nice rooftop bar, come back to the penthouse, we have a sauna in the penthouse. It's like, all right, normal. We closed deals today, my team are closing deals, I'm not even doing anything. Becomes normal. But here's what I'm saying to you. Seek first the kingdom and his righteousness, right? What does it mean to seek the kingdom? When you wake up in the morning, pray to God. When you start your workday, pray, right? Spend time with God and let him guide your business decisions. Let him give you that love, that feeling you're looking for, that you're trying to get from money and outside things. This is why as well, when you seek the kingdom first and his righteousness, what you're going to find is you're going to transform the way in which you grow your business. It's going to go from me and I want to make money and I want to take from people, to serving, to helping, to giving. So seek first the kingdom. Seek God first in all that you do. Business decisions. Before you start your workday, not checking your phone, everything in between. And his righteousness. His righteousness meaning his guidance, his word. And if you feel unsure on what it means specifically, go to the Bible, read scripture. One Bible verse that changed our business: it's more blessed to give than it is to receive. That's why we're 43 minutes into this video and I've just been given from my heart right now. I pray that this helps you transform your business, make more money, impact more lives. I've already won. I've already won. Like, I hear these guys that are like, yeah, like don't give away content, like hold this stuff back. It's like, that's a scarce mindset. That's like, oh, I can't give away too much because I'm afraid they won't become a customer. Scarcity. Lack mindset, fear mindset. When you're abundant, when you're already blessed by the Lord, you don't need to hold things back. You don't need to hide things back, because you realize the first thing of all, it was never your information to begin with. All of this value that I'm sharing with you guys today, yeah, this isn't Jonathan Gabb. This was given to me from God to give, to put through me to bless you with. So imagine I hold that back. That's holding back God's blessings. Scarcity mindset. Taking mindset. This is what all these guys online do. Just look at their intentions. They ain't pure. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked. Seek first the kingdom and his righteousness, then all these things will be added unto you. It doesn't say go and do loads of work, push and grind and force, and then maybe I'll give you the thing. It literally says seek first the kingdom and his righteousness, right? Obeying him. And this is what I'm saying to you guys, in business, man, the amount of sacrifices I made. I mean, one of them was with my entrepreneur. At the point we was running this, we was doing $50,000 months with this business, right? With lower ticket products. And God was like, yo, bro, close that. Stop charging for that. And I was like, what? He's like, stop charging for that. Can you imagine? And I was like, what do you mean? Like, why? I disobeyed. Seeking the kingdom first and his righteousness, listening to his words, and then all these things will be added unto you. Once I let go of trying to control brotherhood and being like, I want to make money from this, I want to make money from this, that is when this channel, John Gabb Mindset, became a thing. And we have now transitioned into My Entrepreneur. And that's when this started to literally blow up, right? And we had our first week and we done exceptionally well. And as we've grown, we've had, 6-figure months and 45K days. And it's like, God was like, yo, bro, listen to me. Seek the kingdom, right? And my righteousness, and all of these things, the things I was praying for, will be added unto you. And he literally added them unto me. And I can't even begin to explain to you guys, yeah, how easy and effortless it has been for me to grow this business. Like, I see all of these other entrepreneurs, they struggling, they're forcing, they're pushing, they're grinding. And we do the same numbers as them. And it's like I said, I haven't posted content in 3 months, 4 months, however long. I haven't been posting short form content. I haven't been posting emails or reels, any of that. Now we are, but before, what I'm trying to say to you, we was able to have 6-figure months and days in our business where we done 45 grand in a day with none of these systems, none of these tactics, none of these strategies. But I'm telling you right now, God was at the center of it. And I believe as well that the reason why we heavily push mindset is because only with the right mindset are you going to be able to seek God. Only with the right thinking, the right feelings and the right actions are you going to be able to seek the kingdom. Because it's about your routines, your habits, your discipline. So we've now covered this part here, which is the biggest part of this entire call, this entire video, right? Seek first the kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. All right? You're going after your business success because you want validation. It's very simple. Get the validation from the Lord. Get the validation from God. Get the love, most importantly, the only thing that matters here, from God. All right? Once you fill up your heart so much with God's love, you just then want to give that to the world. That's why, you can see the passion and energy I have in this video right now. It's like, I've already won. I've already served you. I've already brought you closer to God. I've already helped you with your business. I've already won. One of my other favorite Bible verses, I think I mentioned it, is more blessed to give than it is to receive. Right? I can't begin to tell you how much your business will change when you bring God into it. And I'm going to start talking about this a lot more on the channel. So we've covered a lot of things today. We've covered the business, we've covered the niche, the avatar, all of these things, who, what, and how you help them. We've covered marketing, sales. We've covered the service delivery aspect. We've covered the who, the what, the why. Yeah? Now I'm going to explain to you, right, how you're actually going to go ahead and implement this stuff into your life. And this is a very interesting part as well, because most entrepreneurs' paradigm is this: let me do more. Let me do more, let me do more, let me take more action. But you have to understand. You have to understand this, guys. It says in the Bible as well, you have to renew your mind. You have to renew your mind. Because your mind right now, yeah, has been programmed to operate in a certain way, to take more action, to do. But again, most of you are doing it from the wrong foundations, right? Your foundations are not built on God. Your foundations are set on how do I make money? How do I take? How all of this stuff here. Just analyze how you think about stuff, right? Analyze your business. Analyze the vision for your business, right? This is another lesson I could go into is like, what's the vision for your business? What's the values that you guys stand by? What's the mission at your business, you know? Or is it just, how do I make money? You get what I'm saying to you? So you have to understand, you have to renew your mind. There's 3 ways I recommend you're going to do this. Number 1 is praying. Praying is one of the most powerful ways I've transformed my business. Praying, meditating, okay? And lastly is visualizing. These are the 3 things I recommend you do to renew your mind, change your current paradigms of thinking, and transform your business. So praying is speaking to God. So I can't begin to tell you as well how many times in my business journey I would pray, I say, God, and this is again how we have the days in the business, I promise you. God, bring me clients that I can serve, bring closer to you, help you, all of these things. And guess what? Guess what, yeah? The people that I help, you know, I received a message from a client the other day. In fact, it was from Josh, right? The one I was mentioning at the beginning. He went from 55 to 275 in his business. I brought him closer to God. All of my clients, I bring them closer to God, yeah? So praying is speaking to God. Meditating is listening to God. Listening to the guidance He's given you. Right? That might be too loud. Meditating is listening to God, yeah? And then visualizing is seeing the blessings. Seeing the blessings that He's bringing your way. So pray, speak to God, meditate, listen to God. Visualizing is seeing the blessings that He's given you. And this, for me, is what creates faith. Right? Faith is seeing the unseen. Faith is seeing the things not yet in the physical world. Okay? But how can you have faith if you can't see it? Now, I'm gonna give you guys even more value. Right? I've got to go in a minute because I've got a call for my clients, but we got 15 minutes, we're good. But let me break this down for you even more. So we have pray, meditate, visualize, yeah? What you're gonna notice happens in this process is 3 things are gonna start to change, yeah? And the 3 things that are gonna start to change is your mind is going to be renewed, but you have to understand this, yeah? You have 2 minds. So you have your conscious mind, which is 10% of how you operate. Then you have your subconscious mind, which is 90% of how you operate, all right? Now, when we break this down, the subconscious mind is where we have our beliefs, where we have our emotions, and where we have our habits. All right? Simply put, it's how we think, it's how we feel, and it's how we act. Think, feel, act. So what's going to happen is, when you start to pray, meditate, and visualize, this will begin to transform. Your mind will literally be renewed. You will have a different way of thinking, a different way of feeling, and a different way of acting. Now let's break that down, yeah? If you start to think differently, about yourself, about your business, about your vision, about money, about success, and you change your mind set, yeah, what is your mind set on, what's going to happen? You're going to feel differently. Okay? Well, when you feel differently, your state is how you create. Yeah? Your state is how you create. So if you think about that, well, you're going to take different actions. And what's that going to lead to? Different results. So it all begins at the mindset level. Your mindset. What is your mindset on? Now, again, this is where people get confused, because this isn't about positive thinking, guys. This isn't just like, yeah, just tell yourself good things and then everything's going to come to you. No. Because here's the problem with that, yeah? Your mind, like we said, you have your conscious mind, you have your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind has been programmed over the years with beliefs, emotions, and habits, the way you think, the way you feel, the way you act. That is why it's critical that you pray, that you meditate, and that you visualize. Right? This is going to renew the mind. Now, giving you guys more value. I call this, and this is what I give to my clients and what I work with them on, it's called the mind system. And what the mind system does, right? This is how you break it down, yeah? You need to get clear on, number one, your current reality. You need to get clear on your current identity. And you need to get clear on your current motivations, your current motives. You cannot change, right, your mindset if you're not aware of the current driving forces behind it. It's like saying, yeah, if you go and put a new sofa in your house, you have to take the old one out, okay? Until you become aware of the things that are holding you back, you can't replace them. It's like they're like blind spots, you know? So you need to ask, one great quote here is, questions open the mind and statements close the mind. Questions open the mind, statements close the mind. Let me get a thumbnail here. Looking jacked, let's go. That should be a good thumbnail, maybe, we'll see. But questions open the mind, statements close the mind. Tony Robbins said it best as well. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of questions you ask yourself. So you need to ask yourself questions like, well, you know, how am I currently waking up in the morning? You know, like literally, because think about it. The next level in your business, you are a completely different person. You have different habits, you have different beliefs, you have different emotions. So it's like, well, but how are you waking up in the morning? When you're making the next level up in your business, are you waking up and scrolling? Are you doing the current habits that you have? Definitely not, right? So you need to audit where you're currently at, and you have to go deep on these questions. Like, how do I wake up? How do I feel day to day? What are the current emotions I experience? You know, like, what are my routines like? What are my habits like? What is my health like? Get clear on the current reality, and it's gonna be painful, believe it or not, because you've been running from this. The next step is the current identity. And simply put, like, how do I currently think? Like, what are the thoughts I have? What are the feelings that I have? You know, what are the habits that I have? How am I acting? Again, you're gonna become very aware that this and this and then your current motives is like, what's driving me? You know, because I remember when I'd done this exercise, before I built this product out, I was doing this for myself, just like journaling and stuff like that. Now I've built out a very, very solid product with all the prompts and things, but I would ask these questions for myself. But one question I remember asking is like, what's my true driving force? And I thought, yeah, like, nah, I just want to help people, I want to serve people, but subconsciously. And this is what you're going to realize. Your subconscious mind is very different from what your conscious mind is, right? You know, we say we want one thing, but we do the other thing because we've been programmed. And I realized one of my driving forces was money. And I was like, but I don't even want that to be a driving force. I've already got enough money. But it was an old program that was still looping in my mind, yeah? So as I became aware of these things, what you need to do next, yeah, you've got your current reality, current identity, current motives, yeah? Then what you want to do is you want to start writing down the new reality. All right, so boom, 3 things again. Simply put, what? Oh, by the way, I'm dropping a free course soon that's going to break this all down in detail, completely free. It's going to be insane. Who and why? So what kind of life do you want? How do you want your business to be? How do you want it to be structured? How much money do you want to make? You know, like, where are you investing your money? Where are you living? What kind of lifestyle do you have? So when you start to get clear on the what you're going to realize, yeah, is going to make you so excited. It's going to give you motivation. It's going to give you drive. If, simply put, humans move away from pain and they move towards pleasure. If your current reality, what's good, bro? If your current reality, yeah, is more pleasurable than where you want to get to, you're going to stay where you are. Vice versa. If you have more pain attached to your current reality and more pleasure where you're going, I promise you now, yeah, subconsciously you're just going to naturally move towards that. Because my vision for this business, my entrepreneur, is so big. I'm excited by it. You can see it's been an hour and I've just been talking value this whole time because I truly enjoy this. I love this. My vision of where we're going to take this, yeah, is so big, so exciting. It drives me. So what do you want, not just in your business, but even outside of your business, right? Next one, who do you need to be? How do you want to think? How do you want to feel? How do you want to act? You have to get clear on these things. What would be the thoughts you have? What would be the feelings you have? What would be the actions that you take? Yeah, who would you be? I've got to wrap this up real soon. Who would you be? Yeah? And then it's like, what are your driving forces? Why do you want to do this? You know, for me, I want to bring entrepreneurs closer to God. Like that, for me, even as I say that, I get warm, I get excited. And that's, you know, a reminder for myself. I'm very happy I shared that with you guys today. I'm going to share more value on the Bible and God, for sure, man. But that's my reason why, man. I want to bring people closer to God. And it's the same mission with brotherhood, you know. I want to be able to be the best husband, right? The best father, the best leader. Okay, so my reasons why feed into this and feed into this, this feeds into this and this. You get my point? So this is the second step, the new identity, the new vision, the new motivations, what you're building. Here comes the last step of this, right? Is, well, how do we actually go about doing this? And this brings me to the point of this whole part of this video. Most people think what I need to do, it's how. People think, okay, now I've got this vision, let me go and take action. No, you have to renew the mind. Like we said, pray, meditate, and visualize, yeah? But what I've created is the mind system. How you do this, very, very briefly, I'm gonna explain this, yeah? If you wanna know more about this, sign up for the free training below. I'm gonna be breaking this down in there. We're gonna be hosting these weekly. So hit the link, that will either be a live one we're doing or a recorded one, but sign up for the free training right now. So when it comes to applying your mind system, there's 3 steps. And I actually originally learned this. I've deepened the teachings of it now because I've obviously learned a lot over the past 10 years of studying this. But there really is 3 things. And I learned this from a billionaire, right? You need to calm and relax your body. Why is this so important? Because you need to enter into lower brain waves like theta and alpha. That is when your subconscious mind is suggestible. So you need to calm and relax your body. What I do with my clients as well, I'm a certified hypnotherapist. I don't like to say hypnotherapy because For me, it's like, it's a bit woo-woo. For me, it's like this. I help my clients get closer to God. I pray over them and all of these things. But anyway, calm and relax the body. How we do this is I would essentially get you into a deeper state of mind. So I'd say, take in some deep breaths, feel your body relax, unwind, and then we go into that process, right? So you relax the body, you work them through that. Once they've done that, step number one. Step number two is you want to elevate your emotions. Elevate your emotions. Why is this so important? Because your heart, your mind, right, and your heart is so much more powerful than your mind. Your heart is basically your subconscious mind. Your heart puts out this energy into the world and you draw back things to you. If you're only working with your mind, it's limited. But the mindset is the beginning step because you can't get to the heart without the mind, right? This is just to keep it simple for the audience I speak to. I'm not going to dive into this right now. People would probably say, no, you just open your heart. Yes, but mindset is the key, because how are you going to even get to the point of where you think about this stuff if your mind's not set on abundance, worthiness, success? But anyway, we're getting distracted. I've got to go in like 4 minutes. So this is the second step. You want to elevate your heart. How you're going to do this is simply think about things you love, to keep it simple right now. There's a certain process I take my clients through. I can't get into this right now. I give them custom meditations to do this, right? Then the third step here is where you begin to visualize, right? Visualize, you can pray here, and you're going to be meditating. This is all combined, right? Now, this is just one thing. This is called the mind system, but there is other things I could share with you. I mean, this can be applied with just praying as well. But what I do, because look, a lot of the people, they're like, how do I do it? How do I do it? And I realize this. I used to teach this concept all the time to my clients. Calm the body, elevate your emotions, visualize. And they would still find it confusing. So what I done is I created the mind system where it's guided meditation, right? It's a guided meditation and prayer that takes you through the who, or the what, the who, and the why. So you are literally programming into your mind, what is it you want, who you need to be, and why you want it, and this will reprogram your mind. Listen, if you want to know more about that, there'll be some links below where you can find out more about our services, how we help entrepreneurs scale their business using their mind. We are the #1 in this space. It is undeniable. Mindtrepreneur.com. Other than that, I'm blessed to have you guys here watching this far into this video. Thank you so much. And I'm excited to bring God more to this channel, because really and truly without God, nothing matters, all right? So I'll see you in the next video. Like I said, if you want to know more, go to mindtrepreneur.com. There'll be some links around this page. Follow us on Instagram and we'll go from there. All right? God bless.